Hey, this is Danny from Made of Metal, aka Britain's Strongest Drummer, and I'm here with a competition preview. Yes, on Sunday the 12th of June, England's Strongest Man is taking place at Chaos Strength Gym in Preston, which is going to act as a qualifier for Britain's Strongest Man happening in July. In this video, we're going to be going through the events, we're going to be going through the competitors, and we're going to be picking out some of the athletes that are expected to put on standout performances on the day. So quickly running through the events, what we have up first is an axle floor to overhead, as many reps as you can in 60 seconds. So this is an event on the day that will offer 3 different weight options for athletes to choose from. Athletes have up until the day of the competition to decide on their weight, but won't be able to change once their decision has been made. This adds an element of strategy to the event. Do you go for a heavier weight that you think you might be able to do just to secure more points? Or do you play it safe and hope that those that gamble perhaps don't do so well? This was certainly the case last year at Britain's Strongest Man, that offered a sandbag into yoke at 2 different weights, and a few of the guys opted for the heavier weight only to fail. So as far as the weights for this event goes, the axles available are 75 kilograms, 105 kilograms and 120 kilograms. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like quite a few guys are going to go for the 120. The second event is an axle deadlift set 15 inches off the floor, as many reps as you're able to do in 60 seconds, and also offers the option of different weights. The lighter barbell will weigh 195 kilograms, the heavier 255 kilograms. Following that, we have a farmer's carry for 45 meters in total, drop and turn every 15 meters. No weight options here, everyone's going to be carrying 100 kilograms with a 60-second time limit. Fourth, we have the throwing bags, 5 bags over a 4.5 meter bar, starting at 30 pounds, ending up at 50 pounds. Finishing off, we have a sandbag for max distance. Now previously, when this event was announced, there was a 75-second time cap, but that has since been removed. So it's just as far as you can go for as long as you can go. I think that this is going to be a really important event. So the athletes that find themselves in the top 6 places each earn an invite to Britain's Strongest Man to tough it out against our Scottish athletes who have already qualified. So competing on the day, we have Richard Erdison, Dean Pearson, Ash Lappage, Mark Henshaw, Matt Wally, Aaron Baker, Andrew Keys, David Cairns, Cameron Tuxford, Vladimir Dramia, Kieran Stevens, David Pearce, Connor Cowans, Hugh Hartnett, Matthew Neese, Thomas Horn, Paul Jeffries, and yours truly. So now we know the events, let's talk about some of the athletes that I'm expecting to do really well on the day. First up, let's talk about the world's strongest twins, Joe and Tim Daglish. They have occupied various podium spots between the two of them, including first and second in Britain's Strongest Man 2021 and first and second again in the BNSF Britain's Strongest Man 2021. On top of that, at Britain's Strongest Man 2021, they each broke an under 80 kilogram world record. Tim managed to load 164.8 kilogram at the stone, while Joe managed to deadlift 335 kilograms. They also both competed internationally at the official Strongman Games 2021, and Tim has qualified for Clash of the 80s taking place in Colorado later this year. We have Josh Lancaster, winner of England's Strongest Man under 90 kilograms 2021, as well as the WHEA European Champion of 2021. As well as being a world-class athlete, he's also a world-class coach, boasting the world's strongest woman under 64 kilograms as one of his many clients. Now, Josh may be the physical embodiment of determination. He goes all out in competitions, nearly being run over by a truck recently. And as well as competing in England's Strongest Man, on the day he's going to be trying to break potentially 2 dumbbell world records. First off, he's going to go for the under 80 kilogram dumbbell world record, and then moving on to breaking the pound for pound dumbbell press world record. Do you think he's going to do it? We have Rich Molnar, aka the world's strongest racer, who has had a hell of a year. He competed at Britain's Strongest Man last year, and I think it's fair to say that by his own standards he probably underperformed at that competition. I don't think that's going to be the case at England's Strongest Man. I know he's really looking forward to the axle deadlift. He's said on numerous occasions he's going to break 20 reps, and I have no doubt in that whatsoever, but he's not one to sleep on overhead events either. Added to that, over the past year he's been chipping away at any weaknesses to make sure he's a superb all-rounder, so definitely one to look out for on the day. We have Lewis Blackwood, who this year won Southern England's Strongest Man. He was also a Britain's Strongest Man 2021 finalist and recently just pulled a 320kg deadlift raw. I first saw Lewis compete last year at Britain's Strongest Man, and the intensity that he brought to that competition was unrivaled. I can't wait to see what he brings to England's Strongest Man this year. Lewis also qualified for the Arnold UK log and deadlift competition for the under 80kg category. If memory serves correct, I believe he turned up on the day slightly overweight, so rather than withdraw, he just jumped in with the 90kg guys. That should give you an idea of the competitive nature of this guy. I can't wait to see him perform. And finally, returning to strongman competition after quite a break, we have Tommy Chivers. Tommy has a long list of achievements to his name, including 3 BNSF Britain's Strongest Man titles. He also placed second at the WHEA Worlds in 2017 and managed a top 10 finish at the official Strongman Games in 2019. Unbelievably, this is Tommy's first competition back since the official Strongman Games in 2019. I've been speaking to him about England's Strongest Man, and he has overcome injuries and other obstacles and is really excited about the day. He's been looking super strong in his training videos, so definitely another athlete to look out for. Yes! That's not to say the other competitors are going to make this easy by any means. We've got all 3 guys that made the podium at the UKNS Southern Qualifier earlier this year in Andrew Keys, Matthew Neese and Hugh Hartnett. As I've said before, Hugh dominated the deadlift at that competition. Matt is incredible overhead, and Andrew Keys is just a fantastic all-round strongman athlete. Added to that, we have another potential world record breaking athlete in Tom Hume. He is an incredibly strong presser, and at one point this year was on track to break the axle overhead world record. Hopefully that attempt is still in the pipeline, because I would love to see it. So while there are 6 qualifying spots for Britain's Strongest Man up for grabs at this competition, I feel obliged to make some predictions. For me, it's hard to not see the world's strongest twins occupying one of the top 3 spots on the podium. As for who's going to take the other spot, I'm going to put my money on Rich Molnar. As for the other 5 qualifying spots up for grabs, your guess is as good as mine, but it's hard to see the likes of Tommy Chivers, Lewis Blackwood, Matthew Wally, Neese, Andrew Keys. There are just so many that could and should qualify. So that about does it for my preview of England's Strongest Man under 80kg. Who do you think is going to make the podium? Leave your predictions down below. I'll be back post-competition with a review of the day, probably a little bit sore and a little bit worse for wear. So as ever, if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and share the video around. I've been Danny from Made of Metal, aka Britain's Strongest Drummer, and I'll see you next time.